Alright, we are going to talk about things that we can do with functions today. So this says that we can add, subtract, multiply, and divide them. We just have to make sure that when we divide them, the bottom can't ever equal 0. So this says, our example here says, find and simplify the functions g minus f of x, and then make g divided by f of x, given that f of x is x minus 1 and g of x is x squared minus 1, and then they want to know, are they the same function? So g minus f of x is g of x minus f of x. So I'm going to write g of x is x squared minus 1 minus f of x, which is x minus 1. And this becomes x squared minus 1 minus x plus 1. These cancel each other out, and I get x squared minus x. So I have g divided by f of x, and that's g of x divided by f of x. And I get x squared minus 1 divided by x minus 1. And right now I'll go ahead and put my restriction. The x cannot equal 1. And then I need to, this says find and simplify, so I can go ahead and work on this a little bit more. These cross out and I get x plus 1. So these are in fact not the same function. So now we can compose two functions, and I have funny ways of remembering things. This isn't like what we've done before, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. This is literally taking one function and shoving it into the mouth of the other function. It's kind of gruesome, but that's how I remember it. You're putting one function inside the other. And so this little open circle, it means composed. So this is f composed with g of x. We affectionately in the math world call that fog. And we also have g composed of f of x, so we have fog and goff. It's silly, but you got to find humor in math somewhere. Okay, and f composed of g of x equals f of g of x, meaning that when you go to the function f, every time you see its variable, you replace it with the whole value of g of x. The domain of the composite function f of composed with g is always x, such that x is the domain of g and g of x is in the domain of f. And it's important to realize that fog and goff are not the same as multiplying the functions. Okay, so we're going to go, we're going to do fog and goff. So f of g of x equals 2, let's go ahead and write it this way, f of 3 minus x, meaning go to the function named f, and every time you see its variable, replace it with 3 minus x. So I'm going to leave big parentheses, and then I'm going to put in the parentheses, put 3 minus x. And this gives me 6x minus 2x plus 1. And that's not an x, that's just a 6. Minus 2x plus 1, and that gives me 7 minus 2x. And then g of f of x is g of 2x plus 1. That says go to the function named g. Every time you see its variable, replace it with the value 2x plus 1. So I'm going to go to the function g. I'm going to leave big parentheses when I see x. I'm going to add 2 plus 1 in here, and that gives me 3 minus 2x minus 1. Minus 2x minus 1. and that gives me 2 minus 2x. So they are not the same. Fog and Goff in this case are not the same. Alright, so we can, I see this sometimes, we just don't use this a lot, but I do see this sometimes. We can compose a function, two existing functions, and we can do that if we have a table or a graph, and not necessarily the actual function. So if I want to evaluate f of g of 3, the first thing I want to do is find g of 3. So this is 3 here, and this is g of 3. So this is f. So note g of 3 equals 2. And so that would become f of 2. And I go back here on this table where x equals 2, and f of 2 is equal to 8. Now they want g of f of 3. So we're going to say note f of 3 is equal to 3. So we're going to find g of 3. And g of 3 is equal to 2. From there, but we already wrote it up here. The domain of a composite function is the set of those inputs in the domain of g for which g of x is in the domain of f. So given a function composition, determine its domain. So you're going to find the domain of g, find the domain of f, find the inputs in the domain of g for which g of x is in the domain of f. That is, exclude those inputs from the domain of g for which g of x is not in the domain of f. So let's look at this guy. We're going to find the domain of it. So f composed with g of x is f of g of x. So that's f of 4 over 3x minus 2. Note here, I guess we should say 3x minus 2 cannot equal 0. 3x cannot equal 2, or x cannot equal 2/3. And for this one, x minus 1 cannot equal 0, or x cannot equal 1. So we know what the exclusion values are. So I know so we have this, and we have this. And we know that 4 minus 3x minus 2 can't equal 0. And we need to know where, if we put 4 over 3x minus 2, it cannot equal 1, right? Because we're putting in an f of x. So I say 4 cannot equal 3x minus 2, and that gives me 6 cannot equal 3x, and then 2 cannot equal x. So my domain is from negative infinity to 2/3 unioned with 1 to 2 unioned with 2 to infinity. And if this is hard to do in your head, then you can always draw a number line and say, okay, I have 0, 2/3, 1, 2, and then say, okay, well, I can have everything up to 2/3, but I can't have it, and everything up to 1, but I can't have it, and everything up to 2, and I have that, and then that will help you write this here. And yes, I work these before I do my lecture notes just to practice. It's always good to practice before you present, but also sometimes I catch mistakes I make. It's always good. I'm human, and if you've been watching these videos, you know I make mistakes just like everybody else. So, especially when I'm talking and I'm writing, and maybe I have a full-time job too, so maybe I'm tired from work, and you get it, because I know you get it, because you're a student and you're probably working and taking care of a family too, and you have a lot on your plate. So, we are simpatico. All right. So now we have find the domain of f composed of x, where x plus f of x is the square root of x plus 2, and g of x is the square root of 3x plus 2. So if I was going to find the composition, it's the square root of the square root 3 minus x plus 2. And I know that this whole thing cannot equal 0, or cannot be, actually, square roots, right, have to be greater than or equal to 0. And so I know that this guy right here needs to be greater than or equal to 0. Because whatever that comes, if this is 0, this is 2, so it's still a positive number, so we're good there. Oops, sorry about that. And so, if I square both sides, I get 3 minus x needs to be greater than or equal to 0. 3 needs to be greater than or equal to x. And then remember, we can rewrite these with the x, as long as the mouth's open to 3, it needs to be open to 3 here. So x needs to be greater than or equal to 3, which is, we can write it that way. Alright, so if we can make something, we can break it, or if we can compose, we can decompose, okay? And sometimes this is up to interpretation, okay? There may be more than one right answer, but if I was looking at that and someone said, okay, make this into 2 functions that this could have been, okay? So let's say I want to say f of x is equal to g of h of x. So what's g and h? Well, I see the first thing I see on here is the square root function. So I bet you g of x is the square root of x, and then what was stuffed in there is most likely what's under the square root. Alright, so as usual, there's more videos here in the PDF, and if for some reason these don't work, go to that section. We're in section 3.4 in your textbook. There's live links through there, and you have your videos in Newton Alta. Come see me in office hours if you want to talk about this some more, or send me a message.